Hi people, today I'll be sharing about 3 things that I don't really like about the law profession. Interestingly, as I tried to think of points that I don't really like about this profession, it was quite difficult to even come up with 5 points. The first thing that I really don't like about this profession is the fact that we are very much engrossed with client pleasing, which leads to the problem of having no boundaries in terms of time. Because we are so obsessed with trying to meet our clients' expectations, many clients have learned to expect lawyers to be working all the time 24/7, 1 a.m. on a weekday night. Even during the weekends, they are expecting you to reply and also expecting you to deliver work in a very short amount of time. Basically, they will give you impossible deadlines and expect you to meet them, regardless of how you're going to meet them. I think one issue is that many bosses are afraid to manage clients' expectations. Instead of managing their expectations, we try to meet them, even when we clearly know it's very impossible. Usually, clients who give us very unreasonable deadlines are people who do not understand how long it takes for a certain document to be produced. I have encountered clients who wanted to close deals in a matter of weeks, which from the law perspective is pretty impossible because drafting a document may even take a week. Unless this client is your only client and you are not intending to do work for other clients, then yes, maybe if you work from morning to evening, you can finish a very complicated agreement, perhaps about 80 to 100 pages long in 2 days. But the reality of it is that you will have to be dealing with many things at the same time. And I think many lawyers fail to communicate that with their clients, and instead we will try to scramble to meet the client's deadline, not sleep, or just place a lot of stress on ourselves. It feels like people do set their boundaries. Even when you buy things online, some sellers even clearly state that there will be no delivery over the weekends, or that delivery might be delayed because of whatever reasons. Some businesses also shut down when it's the public holidays or whenever they need a break. But lawyers just don't shut down. It's as though we have created this reputation that we are robots and that we don't shut down during public holidays, we don't go on leave, we are never sick, we are never tired, and we just work round the clock to please them. So I think it is really strange how we go out of the way to please clients who will never appreciate or never fully understand how much it takes to produce the work that they require. But I think this has to be managed. Perhaps it is competition, like maybe speed is something that clients want, but if all of us do not stretch ourselves beyond what we can take, then it will be the same across the board. I mean, the client will have nowhere else to jump if everybody simply respects our own boundaries. If every single lawyer or every single law firm that they're going to approach will stick by the normal timelines and will simply do work during the day and not during weekends or past working hours, then the clients cannot expect anymore. But somehow, as I've said earlier, lawyers really love making life hard. In some sense, we're really strange creatures. I mean, I don't like it, but because I'm not in the position of a boss and I don't have much say in terms of whether I want to push back on the deadline, I just have to live by the deadlines, unfortunately. That's one thing, which is the obsession with client pleasing. Second thing I don't really like about working at a law firm is the fact that lawyers are such tech dinosaurs. The news is always on and about how businesses are innovating, are adopting tech to help their business function better. But law firms are going in the opposite direction. And we're very resistant to new, innovative tech that can actually help us do our work faster. Just take the search engine, for example. If you look at Google, you can just type in a natural language and just basically type whatever question you want, and you will get answers based on what you type. You don't even have to type the precise wording. You can even make spelling mistakes and all, and you will still get the results that you're looking for. But when you look at the law search engine, you have to type the exact word, put them in inverted commas, use certain connectors like caps A and D to find something. And if you make a mistake in your typing, then you won't get the thing you're looking for. And sometimes even when you type so precisely, you don't get what you want to find, which is really strange because why is Google better than our law database? But I'm sure somebody somewhere has developed a better search database for law, but no firms are adopting it at the moment, I think, or at least my firm isn't. Aside from search engines, the way we do work, we also do a lot of manual grunt work. The way we draft agreements is such that we follow precedents, and I feel that there are some agreements that are actually pretty standard, like employment agreements, that we can simply automate this process of filling in the information or filling in the clauses depending on the characteristics of this employee. Maybe it's a Singapore citizen, a PR, or foreigner. There'll be some things that will just leave out when it's a PR, or put in when the person is a foreigner. There is tech out there that can make our job better, but somehow we're just not investing into it, and we're using like dinosaur old systems and essentially wasting a lot of time that can be saved if we have technology to help us. The last thing that I don't really like about this profession is that it seems that firms are not very concerned about talent retention. Most companies and businesses out there do think of ways to retain their talented employees, in that they will try to give you some staff benefits, flexibility in your work, and other benefits to attract employees and encourage employees to stay on for a longer time. I think this mindset seems very foreign in a law firm. It doesn't seem that bosses are thinking about, okay, what should I do to retain my employees? What should I do to keep them wanting to work here long term? Instead, they will stretch you out to the point where people contemplate quitting, which kind of doesn't make sense, because usually after you put in so much effort training a particular employee, you will want to also put in a certain amount of effort to keep the employee so that you do not have to retrain them, reskill new employees, or basically you don't have to go through the trouble of rehiring. But I think this is a concept that most bosses are not concerned about. It's as though they take it as the default, is that I will just treat them as a mere employee, not a talent, and then they will just decide to leave at some point in time. Sometimes I do believe that law firms are more like the regular businesses out there. Most businesses do believe that it's very important to ensure employee welfare because it is what keeps them passionate about the job. I am actually quite surprised that I don't have more bad things to say about this profession. Perhaps because I actually do like doing law. I hope that this short sharing does also give you an insight on what you can expect when you go and work in a law firm eventually. That's all. See you in my next video. Bye!